Hi everyone, we're going to be doing a lesson today on resolving conflicts. This is a lesson for our upper elementary grades, age 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. So our hope for our students is that after this lesson, they'll be able to define the word conflict and the word resolution. They'll be able to identify a conflict when they encounter one. They will also be able to list different strategies that can be used to resolve a conflict. We're going to then put up this T-chart up on the board. We're going to ask students to brainstorm words that bring them light and that also scorch them. Okay, so we're going to start off with words that light us up. To prompt their thinking, we're going to ask them this: what words make you feel good about yourself when someone says them about you, right? These words that bring you light can be stuff of joy, of happiness, and we're going to record their answers. Then we're going to ask students to think of words that scorch them. These are words that can burn, can sadden, make them upset, right? Things that are hurting their feelings. And we're going to record their answers as well. After all of our examples are up on the board, we're going to have them all look at these words. So as we have just shown in this chart, words have a very special power. They can either lift someone up or tear someone down. We have to be very careful with how we use our words, especially when we are upset or angry. So today we are going to learn the best way to communicate and use words when faced with conflict. I'm going to ask all my students also, have you ever been accused of something? I like to bring this up first, and I like to see some of their answers that they get. So now we're going to go over a you message. A lot of these kids might say, oh, that I know what that is. That's an I message when you're texting someone. We're going to explain to them that this is not an I message. This is a you message. Okay, we're going to read this message together as a group. Okay, this message is on Naomi's phone, right? So it says, you are a liar. What do you mean? You said you couldn't come to the birthday party because of soccer. Maria saw you at the mall. I did have soccer. It got canceled because of the weather. I had to go to the mall with my mom. Whatever. You are the worst friend ever. You are so mean for saying that. Okay. Now we're going to go over some of these questions on the side, right? Some of these brainstorm questions. Why is Naomi upset? Okay. All these questions, you're going to have the students raise their hands and obviously give you answers. How do you think she is feeling? How do you think her friend felt when she read these messages? And could Naomi have talked to her friend in a better way? So now we're going to go over some important things. What word do you feel is repeated over and over in this you message, right? See what answers they give you. The correct answer should be the word you, right? It is used over and over on here. You are so mean. You said you couldn't come. You are a liar, right? What type of adjectives do Naomi and her friend use to describe each other, right? Some adjectives that they've used: liar, mean. And could Naomi have been a better friend, right? I want to get some ideas of how they feel that Naomi could have handled this better. So effective communication is the key to resolving conflicts. When people are upset or angry, they often accuse others of doing things and use you message instead of explaining how a person's actions made them feel. So we are going to do and turn these you messages into an I message. Okay, the best way to express yourself is through an I message. An I message will contain 3 different important parts. The first one being the statement with I instead of you, and a statement of feeling, which could be I feel. Secondly, you're going to do a statement about a problem or what happened, but only stick to facts. This could be when you. And then your last one, your end message with the why the person's behavior has affected you and made you feel certain emotions. Because we can have them think of some and brainstorm some ideas before handing out the worksheet. I came up with one that would say, I feel sad when you make, I feel upset when you make me change my hairstyle because I like the way the hair looks, right? This is the example that you see on the iMessage practice sheet. Each person is going to get one of these sheets and they're going to work together to come up with changing each question into an iMessage statement. An iMessage should always be said in a calm voice with eye contact, confidence, and respectful body language. A lot of our students obviously do not have confrontations with each other when you're younger, so a lot of them actually will use cell phones and social media. So in that case, you can still utilize the I feel, when you, and because, and still making it and being confident in the writing that you do and still being respectful. Even though you're not doing it in person, you can still be very respectful in your messages on social media or text messages. So now we want the students to remember back to that you message. If you have to, you can go back to the beginning and show them so they can go over it. And then you're going to want them to change it and turn it into now an I message. And so they're going to have to remember, what is the main problem? How does Naomi feel? And why does she feel that way, right? You're going to answer those questions and then you're going to go back and you're going to come up with your own I message. I like to have people work in groups with these and come up with some of them and write one of them up on the board so they could see that we changed that you message into an I message. So now we're going to do some practice. So we're going to read the statement and then we're going to have them brainstorm why they think, what statement that they can come of being an I message. So we're going to start off. Your classmate has been making fun of the lunch you bring to school each day, right? They're going to come up with an I feel, when you, and because, right? So you can give them an example. I feel sad when you make fun of my lunch because I like my lunch, right? So you're showing them what you feel upset, you feel sad. When you, and you're telling them exactly when you feel sad and exactly why. So Betty doesn't let me take turns with her on the slide at recess. I feel, when you, and because, right? So you can give them an example. I feel hurt when you hog the slide because it makes me think you don't like me. Next, we have Henry thinks it's funny to play rough when the teacher isn't looking. Okay. Again, I feel, when you, and because. I feel upset when you play rough because you are hurting me. Again, make sure the students are understanding that you are telling them what you feel, when it is happening, and because. So then we're going to show a small clip to the students. We're going to actually show this clip twice. The first time you're going to show this clip, it is going to be shown without any sound. The student's going to watch this clip on a little bit of a conflict management, which comes from Despicable Me, where the little girl will be is showing some emotions about being upset and how she handles them. They're going to watch this without any sound, and they're going to guess the emotions that the people in the scene might be experiencing, right? Have them write it down and have them share. After they share these, then you're going to play this again, this time with sound. And they're going to see if they were able to see by just watching it and seeing how they react to certain scenes, if it corresponds to the emotions that they said they were going through. Then I like to end off with 3 questions. I like to have our students take out a piece of paper for these, and I like them to write them down. This way, I know, just in case someone does not want to share, they are able to write it down, and I can see if they truly understand the concept. So the 3 questions that I like to ask is, what are 3 reasons why an I message is a great way to communicate? Make sure they remember the difference between the you message and the I message. Next, how are words powerful? And then lastly, think of miscommunication you have had with a parent, a sibling, and/or a friend. What happened? How did the words that you or the other person use to affect the conflict? After they complete these, you can take them in and make sure you look over them to see if your students really did understand the concept or if you would need to do a follow-up lesson with them. Okay, thank you guys so much.